Hi, this is Ken and Michelle Bass.
And you're listening to the Resilient Parenting Podcast.
Hello and welcome to yet another podcast. Yes, we're still doing them. You can't stop us.
We haven't been doing that many, so...
We haven't?
No. Actually, you know what? We should celebrate.
Yeah?
Because this episode is number 10.
Really?
This is number 10.
What'd you get me?
What'd you get me? You didn't get me anything. I can see it by your face. No, but you know what?
What?
We did something special.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of interviewing one person, we interviewed two.
Dos?
Dos, yes. And we even brought them a mic. But did the mic work, Ken?
I don't know. Did Mike work? Mike quit and walked away.
Hello, we're joined by Michelle Graff, Program Manager for Parents as Teachers at Central District Health. Welcome.
Hello.
We're working with two people on one microphone here, so you may hear somebody in the back of the room going, oh, we're going to go get closer to the mic. So Michelle,
we're making it work.
Introduce who's with you here.
Thank you for having me. With me is one of my home visitors, Melanie Quas.
Hello.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, you're getting some movement in. It's all good.
Just sit and help put your arms around each other.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Be really close.
Yeah, get close.
Okay.
All right. So can you tell us a little bit about Parents as Teachers?
Yes, we are an evidence-based home visiting program focused on parents. It's exactly as it sounds. Parents as teachers. Parents and caregivers are their child's first and most important teacher. So our free program is based in the home where it's the most natural learning environment for children.
So is this kind of like homeschooling then? Is that what we were talking about or what?
No. So we're focused for ages prenatal to age 5. So not yet kindergarten entry. So that's the specific target.
Okay.
And is this parents teaching other parents?
No, not necessarily. So we have our
We're asking the right questions.
Yes,
you can
we
tell.
are. We have our certified parents as teachers, home visitors go into homes to facilitate these home visits where we're providing tools and through a evidence-based curriculum and activities for parents to interact with their babies, notice different milestones, and help them grow and learn.
Oh, I love that. So important. We've talked a few times now about the importance of the first 5 years, and that's the age that you focus on. So that's lovely.
Very good. Melanie, how do you play into this now?
Yeah, so I'm one of the home visitors, and we go into our family's homes, and every situation looks a little different. So we really like to support the family and meet them where they're at. It might be a father, it might be a grandmother, it might be a foster parent that have these children in their home, and we work with the whole scope of what it looks like to be this parent or role model in this child's life. So we work with everything from discipline to potty training to feeding to sleep, attachment. We work with all of these components to really support the parents where their needs are.
And, you know, we just got a question today. Somebody writing us an email to the Resilient Parenting Podcast site asking about being a grandparent and things grandparents can do. So right down your alley, huh?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. We understand the importance of the role of the grandparent and how influential that can be. Sometimes they are the primary caregiver, and that's a big responsibility to be taking on again in your life. So we want to be there to support them, and times change. Every child is different. So let's say they've raised 5 children, and then it's been 20 years, and then they have this new baby in their life, and they're like, I forgot everything, or this is not how we used to do it.
Oh, yes.
And there's so much more information, and a lot of mixed messages too. I think with social media and things like that can get really confusing for people that are either new parents or doing it all over again 20 years later. So we really like to be there with this evidence-based model to really guide them and support them and meet them where they're at and, teach them along the way.
Okay, so that brings it up. So what are some things that your myth busters, or however you word it?
Social media busters.
What are some areas that you have shared with your caregivers? I'll just say caregivers broadly because you named a lot of different parenting. But what are some things that the listeners right now, what are some things that if you could give them a couple of things from your curriculum, what would you want to share with them?
A lot of the things that we're sharing through the Parents as Teachers curriculum, there are a lot of information around things like safe sleep, oral health. And what's so nice about the curriculum is that Parents as Teachers finds the most latest research through American Academy of Pediatrics, 0 to 3, on what is most appropriate, and also the CDC, et cetera. And, there's a lot of things around co-sleeping that parents have different perspectives on, and which it's a balancing act between for the home visitor on what's culturally sensitive and also what's best for the baby in terms of sleep safety. And so, the parents, what we are able to provide is what the Parents as Teachers perspective is, and giving them a handout on, if it's a baby under 6 months, there's no extra blankets or pillows. It's a flat surface, and co-sleeping is discouraged because of the various risks and SIDS. So that's one example.
That's helpful.
Since Michelle brought it up and called it Mythbusters, what's one of the biggest myths that have come along in the last several years that you guys can help clear up for us?
Oh, you can't see their faces, but they have their thinking caps on.
Which one do we go for? Melanie, Michelle, which one wants to go with this one? Melanie's sliding in toward the mic. I don't know.
I feel like I'm on a game show.
I know, right? So I want to go away from maybe the word myth, just because we want to be very, again, we use the term meeting the parent where they're at. So let's say they really strongly want to breastfeed. And everything they've tried, absolutely everything that they can. And they're seeing a lactation consultant, and it's just not working out for them that way. And they have to switch to formula. But there's a lot of information out there that have kind of scared them about using formula, let's say. Yeah. And then they feel a lot of shame with not being able to breastfeed. So we give them the knowledge and the education and the encouragement to make the best decision for them. But then we also support them with where they're going and with what they need to do in order to support their own mental health as well. That's one beautiful thing that I love about Parents as Teachers is how much we focus on the mental health of the parents.
Right.
Because it's critical. It's very essential because you can't really parent your child if you're not taking care of yourself. And if not taking care of yourself means, you can't breastfeed, then you need to use formula, and we are going to support you with that. So not necessarily a myth per se, but also just
misinformation, maybe?
Misinformation or a lot of social pressure and a lot of, feeling shame because you're seeing what you should be doing, right?
Yeah.
That quote unquote should be doing this. You should be, not working and staying home with your child or whatever it might be. So we want to go back to are you supporting yourself so you can best support your child, and what decisions are you making for the best of both worlds, right?
Right.
Very good.
And you had brought up the mental health of the caregivers, which is super important. And I know that one of the things I have noticed with a lot of the families I work with is isolation, and I'm sure having someone come in, is it weekly that you come in, or how often
we
do you
go
come
in twice a month?
Twice a month,
so about every other week. And
Are you able to also offer them like other resources or supports to help build their circle of supports in the community?
100%. That's another beautiful thing about our program is we are their resource connection to a lot of things.
Oh, nice.
And then once a month, we actually provide something called our group connection, where we invite all of our families that we work with, and we do an event with them, a free event that they can bring their children. So it's a really wonderful way that the parents can all connect with each other, and then the kids can interact as well. Mm-hmm. But we do things every year that bring in other organizations that they can connect with, let's say through WIC or Oral Health. And
through
then
WIC?
Yeah, WIC is our Women and Children's Clinic where they can...
Oh, okay.
It's a supplemental nutrition program
Okay.
that is free for families with limited income. So it's not to replace the SNAP program, it's to supplement it.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
And the myth around that is that if you don't qualify for the SNAP program, you don't qualify for the WIC program, but it's actually a different program where you can have higher income limits and still be eligible.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Things we didn't know before.
Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful resource. We also do screenings on our caregivers to check in with their mental health or any emotional, physical health concerns that they might have. And then depending on the outcome of those screeners, that's when we will kind of introduce some resource connections in the community, whether it be counseling or relationship help support, emotional support, whatever that looks like. And then in other areas, we help parents find work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if they need it.
One-stop shop here.
Yeah, we help them getting enrolled in school. I have some families where I'm really encouraging the moms to go back to school.
Yes, go back to school.
Yeah. And then childcare, support financially with childcare so that they can go to work or they can go to school.
Wow.
We work with goals with these families. So if they have a big goal, like we want to buy a house one day, you're like, well, hey, let's look at the steps that we need to take. Here are some resources for you. So we kind of just look at the whole scope of everything going on within the home because, again, that impacts the child. And it always goes back to why we do these things is for our child's development.
Right.
We understand that taking care of the whole family well-being is super impactful for these children. So that's why we will cover every component we possibly can. And we do our best to stay updated on the latest resources available for our families. And then once we find a good one, we're shouting it from the rooftops because we get pretty excited about a really important resource for our families if it's going to be impactful for them.
So speaking of resources,
Yeah.
So this is lovely, and I'm sure there are families out there right now across the state of Idaho that would be interested in being a part of this program as parents and possibly as parent teachers. So can you give a little bit of information on how folks can get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. So our Parents as Teachers program is funded through the Maternal Infant Early Childhood Home Visiting Funds that's managed through Health and Welfare. So they have divvied these funds throughout all 7 health districts. So all 7 health districts throughout the state of Idaho has either a Parents as Teachers program, which is home visiting, or a nurse family partnership program, which is also home visiting using nurse home visitors.
Wow.
Or both.
Okay.
So you can contact your local health district. Right here in our area, it's Central District Health. And right now, our services reach Boise County, Ada County, and Elmore County. We're not quite in Valley County yet, but we're hoping to get there
Canyon
soon.
County is a different...
Canyon County is a Southwest District Health.
Southwest District
and
Health.
they have both Nurse Family Partnership and Parents as Teachers.
Oh, wow.
We
Okay.
also have a Nurse Family Partnership program here at Central District Health that only covers Ada County as of now. So in terms of getting involved as parents, as teachers, staff, I would reach out to your local home visiting program manager and see what kind of opportunities are there.
Who knew all this was just under one roof, basically? I mean,
Yes.
wow.
Well, and then I wondered, let's think outside of Idaho, is there a national program?
So Parents as Teachers is actually a national model.
Oh.
And I believe the headquarters is St. Louis. So all of us certified home visitors had to take national certification training to be model certified. So there is a national organization, and that's how we became an affiliate. And actually, Parents as Teachers is international.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I said that. Wow.
There's affiliates throughout Europe.
Well, I said it
now.
again.
Okay.
And before we started this episode, Melanie, you had said that there's actually a website that you can find out where your local program is.
Yeah, if you want to look up just parentsasteachers.org, it will allow you to look in a search for where your location is, and it will show you where the closest program for Parents as Teachers is available.
Awesome. And we're also going to have that added to our show notes so that we'll have the link right there, which will make it helpful. Is there anything we didn't talk about that you think is really important to share about the Parents as Teachers, or maybe something that you really enjoy about it?
Yeah, I mean, we come in every time we visit with an activity, and it is definitely meant for the caregiver to do with their child, not us. So sometimes they think that we're going to come in and be the teacher, but it's actually called Parents as Teachers because the parent is the teacher. And we, really believe that the parent is the first and most important teacher that a child will ever have.
Right.
So, and it starts when it's prenatal all the way until, forever. But that it's a really critical and beautiful time that a parent caregiver can interact, play, enjoy each other through bonding and attachment. We love talking about reading with your children, playing with blocks, being on the floor with your kid without any screens around, just really focusing with that child, and checking in on the milestones is a really important part of it too. Like we always will do screeners on the kids to see if they're reaching all of their milestones. If we do see some sort of concern, that is where another part of the referral process will come in, where we might encourage the caregiver to talk to the pediatrician or get a referral for further evaluation. And then we support them along the way through that journey as well, depending on the outcome. But again, going back to play, just the beautiful, I keep saying that word.
It's
Beautiful?
okay. It's
You
a
can say
beautiful thing to
know.
say beautiful.
The most
Yeah.
beautiful way to learn.
It is
Gorgeous.
so
fantastic,
important. Yeah,
pretty.
I was like, wow, when you're on we'll edit all this out, but when you're on the mic, you're like, dude, I say this a lot. Okay, anyway,
Just wait till you listen to it afterwards.
I know. Oh my gosh. Okay, see, now we're going to edit this. I'm going to start over.
I can edit it in and say, now, Melanie, how you have anything to say? Beautiful,
beautiful,
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
I'm sure there's a tally mark involved. So going back, and we're going to, okay. One of the really important and wonderful things about play is that you get to watch your child learn, and you get to see their brain working through their eyes, and then you get to see it come to life, and you can be like, wow, I taught them that. I did that. It wasn't their teacher at school. It wasn't something on TV that they learned or something that they learned from other kids. It's like, that was me. I know that they learned that from me. And that's really awesome, because how important is that you can be the person teaching your child versus somebody else or something else. So,
And I can tell you really, really love what you do, because when you were describing that, your whole face lit
oh,
up.
I love it. And, being a mom too, I am raising a daughter of my own, and I was trained in this program before I had her.
Oh.
So I learned all this material, and then I'm able to use it with her.
Nice.
Very cool.
And I see it working.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Okay.
Like, it is amazing, because I don't know if I would have known what I know if I wouldn't have been trained to be this home visitor. You think and that's great. And we do the best that we can with what we know. But then when you get more knowledge and you see how important your role is, and like putting this stuff into action, you're like, whoa, this is really cool. It's working, and so I'm super passionate about it.
Well, and rightly so. And I think a lot of people who are listening right now are also very excited about getting more information. So
Good. I hope so.
yeah, so we will share all the information that was shared today, all of the links for folks to check it out in their area, and let us know what you think.
Yeah. Well, thank you both.
Yeah.
Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
And Melanie.
Thank you.
And,
Eminem.
Eminem.
Thanks for having us.
And if we had to sum up this podcast in one word, that one word would be?
Beautiful. This podcast is brought to you by the Idaho Children's Trust Fund.